talking about that gentrification.
Gentrification, bro. And if you want to think deeper, you know, they don't know. They don't exactly know how Hawaii got caught that fire that one time. You know, when they want you out of certain land, bro, turn this down, bro. We can't. You know, like you said, the song's talking about gentrification. If you've seen some of the Bad Bunny's new videos, you'll see that. You know, I think I forgot which video it is, but it shows like one of the, you know, the old timers, you know, from that town in Puerto Rico. He goes down to like order a coffee and a I don't know, a donut or something. I don't know. And then you know, he's ordering it in Spanish, and now you got, you know, people that can only speak English, and they don't even take cash anymore. They only take cards, and you know, the guy don't even know how to like communicate with them or even do a transaction because everything is so Americanized, because you have a lot of Americans moving to, you know, Puerto Rico, because I heard a lot of people like going there because of they're like tax exempt and stuff.
There's a different tax bracket. You get taxed differently.
Right. And then, you know, just like in Mexico, you know, we hear that happening in Mexico. What do they call them? Expats, you know, that they work for an American company, but they live in Mexico. And, you know, so obviously their dollar goes a long way. So they're living like rich folks down there, right?
Yeah.
Taking over certain communities, making them a lot more expensive that people from Mexico, Mexicans themselves can't even afford to live in those communities no more.
Right.
And then you're talking about places like Tulum. You're talking about places like, you know, resort type towns where Americans are buying up property and making condos or making houses and Airbnb-ing them out, and basically making a business out of, you know, Mexican land.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like our own people are not even able to, you know, have an opportunity like that or take advantage of the land like that, because obviously it's harder for us to, you know, for our people to come up with the, you know, that money to make that type of investment sometimes, right? So,
but it's a little deeper than that también, way, because it's not about just the American person buying shit or a European person buying that shit. It's them kind of trying to push out the locals of like that area, trying to, you know, like, you know, there's always been these like restaurants or even stores. We've experienced it before, way on some lower level type shit. When we would work.
You gotta be careful with your English these days, lazy.
I'm a citizen, bitch.
They might start questioning your ass.
I remember when we worked at Abercrombie and Fitch, way, and there was like some special going on, way.
Yeah.
The late night crew, way, they would tell us to go to the back for a little bit, way. I don't know if you remember that shit.
I don't remember that. I was in my own happy little land.
Yeah.
I guess,
either come a little later tonight, or if you guys could hang out in the back, because, you know, there's like a management, you know, project going on.
Yeah. And we shared that before. You know, we grew up having them, you know, them jobs that undocumented Mexicanos would have, undocumented Latinos would have, right? When
we were undocumented at that time.
Exactly. So when we say we worked at Abercrombie and Fitch, you know, we were the people that came in at 10 p.m. and organized the tables.
All the shit y'all fucked up, man. All the shit you guys didn't purchase. You guys just fucking la desdoblaron and shit, you know?
You know, and we would
fold everything. To this day, we know how to fold our clothes nicely.
Right. So, yeah, that's what we were doing. But, yeah, you know, certain establishments want to keep a certain image.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about, like, you know, I'm guessing, you know, shout out to the people that hit us up with, like, information. I know somebody mentioned that Bad Bunny also kind of released, like, I don't know if it was, like, a 15-minute deal or a 30-minute video kind of explaining on the gentrification of the, you know, of Puerto Rico right now.
Yeah.
Or what they're trying to do. And some of the people that want to hold on to what Puerto Rico is are kind of fighting against, which, like you mentioned, some places in Mexico también, way.
Yeah.
And you can't, you know, like, yeah, I can be mad or I could be upset that certain people are buying up our land, way, but that's just is what it is, right? It's up for sale for whoever got the money, way. I'm really against the people that want to push out the locals, that they don't want the taco stand at the corner anymore.
Yeah.
They don't want the music playing anymore. The music's annoying. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
It's disturbing the
you
peace,
know,
you
like
know?
after 9 o'clock type shit. Like, bro, this is Mexico way. Like,
Yeah.
motherfuckers are used to something different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if the locals are complaining, ya es otro pedo way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what makes it worse is like, you know, you go from being here in America complaining about La Raza making too much noise on the weekends when you've been working all week, and now like the weekend comes and we want to let loose, you know, we
Yeah.
want to hang out, you know, have a little get together, jam some music, drink some chelas. And then you got the people calling the cops on you saying it's too loud, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't want to go through that in your own country. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right, right.
So that's the sucky part about it. It's not like we want to be racist and be like we don't want white people in Mexico buying up property. No, it's kind of like if you're gonna go to like don't go try to spread that white privilege and white entitlement into a different country.
Cause I've seen that, bro. I've seen like gente way that like literally are like covering their ears when the banda's playing in the
Yeah.
beach, or they're walking through El Centro with their dogs or some shit, and like just entitled. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm like, how can people be born with this entitlement that they can go to a whole different country that's not their country of origin way, and walk with this entitlement of like, this is my place.
Yeah.
I belong here. This is my,
I
whatever.
pay so much to live in this place. You know, I
Yeah.
pay an HOA to live in this community.
And most Latinos, um, for the majority, I'm speaking for the majority, I never see us walking around with this entitlement of like, who the fuck is this person walking in my neighborhood? Or like, man, you better fucking respect me because I pay the, like you're saying, the HOA around here,
Yeah.
and my taxes and whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah,
I have a small business at the fucking
Yeah.
corner store.
Yeah, we're not known to complain. You know, if people are
Yeah.
having a party, like yo, we actually salute that. Like yo, that's dope. It looks like they're having a good
Yeah.
time over there. You know, it's not like we're like yo, it's too loud. It's like 11 at night. When are they gonna stop the music? Like that's never a thought that's gone through my head.
Yeah.
But that song's dope. If you guys haven't heard this song by Bad Bunny, it is called Lo que le pasó a Hawaii. So it's very deep. You know, pay attention to it. And, like we mentioned, it talks about gentrification. And in days like this and times like this where our community is being targeted and, and the way we're being, treated in this country, it really hits. It kind of starts... it kind of, it makes you feel type of way. Like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
things got to change because if we're going to go back to our own countries or people are going to be in their own countries, we can't be still, like, dealing with this white entitlement of or Americans or for, like, Europeans trying to make their rules in our countries. You know what I mean? Change the way of life, the way we do things. You know what I mean? And that's the only problem we have in it. If people want to have a be cool about it, like adapt to like how things go down, then that's a dope thing.
But like how a lot of people like get the entry point into certain places like Puerto Rico or like Hawaii, and I'm guessing, I don't know the whole story about Hawaii, but Puerto Rico is like calling it like a island of trash, right? Saying, oh, it's just a bunch of junk over there. They don't know how to like clean up their island. They don't know how to do this. That makes it an easier entry point to be like, well, they did come and clean up your island. You know what I mean? So that's why they came over here and they cleaned it up, and yeah, they gentrified it, but they're actually making your country a lot better.
And that's what they do to even communities here in the States, right? Like in the hood, right? We all know certain sides of the city where it's like that used to be the hood, and now it's like got gentrified. Now it's like you got them high end boutiques and you got them coffee shops and all that, and you're like, oh damn, like they really switched it around. And some people might say like, hey, it was for the best. The community's safe now and this and that, but it's like
the displacement of the people, the displacement of community.
Exactly.
And there's a way bigger conversation to that than just saying, the obviousness, but a lot of people are coming in and monetizing off of these low income places or low like rental or property places and then flipping them, and making everything raise more value. So they're, earning a lot of like real estate,
A
value
lot of
and
equity.
equity and all that shit. But where do all these other people go away? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
they get pushed out. They get pushed
and
out.
exactly. So, when you break up communities, it's always been known to like just cause a bunch of like random shit, bro. Like, homelessness. A lot of people lose that community, that sense of community where
Mm-hmm.
people at the corner store, people, your neighbors, all this shit.
Yeah.
Now you're around people that you don't, like, ¿cómo se puede decir? Like, you can't relate to.
Yeah.
I don't see you as like somebody that was raised in this town, raised in this
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, and it raises rents and it raises prices and everything. But yeah, that's just that's just some of the stuff that's going on, and not to go any deeper on it, but just the last thing on it. We do see videos like on TikTok and stuff. You'll see videos of like people in Mexico saying like, "Hey, if you're Mexican, or if you're Mexican American, if you got dual citizenship, invest in Mexico, invest in real estate down here. It's Mexico's booming right now. This is the time for you to get in, build a home or do something, invest into it somehow, because that's where things are happening right now,
Yeah.
right? And it's so hard, obviously we're all the way out here. It's so hard to really know like how can I get into it? How
Yeah.
can I invest? Like,
Yeah.
and there's so much like, there's so much to it, right? It's kind of like, okay, yeah, we could like come together and build like a condo down there, or like buy a condo or whatever. But it's like, who's gonna maintain
Yeah.
it? Then you got to deal with finding someone that you can trust and hire, that's
The
gonna clean
maintenance.
it and
Yeah.
do the maintenance.
But there also has to be like you have to have some kind of insider like info or insider community, or it's like you're not gonna just build a condo by itself, in this area and then expect to bring attraction, right? It has to be like more of a
It's a
I'm a
community that's already
community.
gonna get it built.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna invest in this community. We're gonna have this many other real estate investors that are gonna invest, and they're gonna build condos here, condos here. Would you like to invest in a condo and build your spot here?
yeah,
So it's not like, you know, it's hard to bring attraction when you're just standing alone in the middle of nowhere.
yeah,
But when you build like a shopping center, coffee areas, a bar, restaurant, and other condos, then that's when you're like the
yeah.
investment goes good. But like, how do we get that information? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, I guess, yeah. If we like, you have to talk to like a real estate agent down there, or
yeah,
like an investor down there. But again, it's just such a big investment to go off of like phone calls and all that. You would actually have to
it's a risky
physically,
investment.
yeah, it is a risky
Yeah,
investment. You would actually have to physically go down there
yeah.
and see what you're getting into. But obviously, there's some people that are have closer ties to Mexico than us. There's people that go down there very often.
Yeah.
There's people that have a lot of family down there that they can easily be like, hey, go check this place out. Go talk to this person and see what's going on. Us, yeah, we got family down there, but it's not like they're close to certain, attractions or resorts type of deal.
And they got their own life they live in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But Lazy, let's introduce the podcast before we get too carried away, man.
Yo, mi gente, what's good, man? You is now tuned in to Pura Cultura sin Censura, and this is your boy Lazy.
And now I'm Smiley.
And together we are the
Mexa
Mexa
Twins. And don't ever get it twisted, man. We is
No.
going to stay the Mexa Twins representing for the culture, baby.
Keep it 100. Keep it 100.
But before we get into certain things, bro, I know, there's so much to get into. The immigration rate's been going on strong, man, ever since the inauguration. Then we got, some videos that popped up about MC Magic and his point of view on his support for Trump and a few other things, man. But before we get into all that heavy stuff, man, let's just ease up,
Ease it in, baby.
we gotta ease up on it, man. But let's talk about what we did this past weekend, man. For the people that know, for the people that tune in with us on the regular, they know that we are we're business owners. We own a boat and jet ski rental business.
Yes, sir.
And every year there's a boat show, a yearly boat show that comes to Minneapolis, at the convention center. And it's one thing that we've made it like a thing that we
It's like
attend.
a tradition type shit, right?
Yeah, I guess so. We made it a habit. We made it a point to
Yeah.
attend these events to familiarize ourselves with that boat culture,
Mm-hmm.
with the water culture, and just to be around it.
Yeah.
Kind of get our minds prepared for the year to come. And we like to take our fam with us, our
Yeah.
kids with us, just so they can be familiar with that culture. And the kids especially, the kids, for them to see it as a second nature.
Yeah. Just normalize them to different that like that environment that
Yeah,
is just like natural type shit, you
yeah.
know. And this year, it kind of showed me like what it already should have been, but like networking. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Yeah,
networking with the people that are like the businesses that we're gonna be buying parts off of, you know, or buying jet skis or buying boats off of. You know, it's not that quick. Um, I buy something from you and then we don't have a relationship type shit,
mm-hmm.
you know? Like we don't know how to have relationships with people because you buy a house and you're done with, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? You buy a truck or a car and you're done with. You don't have a continuous relationship with these real estate agents or car dealership dudes. Um, but then when you're in a business, then you start realizing like, all right, like you can give me a different price to things, or you can give me a different information to be like, I know you're still gonna give me your business type. This is just an example, right?
mm-hmm.
Like you shouldn't buy this though. Like this is not gonna be good for what you're doing. Like
Yeah,
this is gonna be better for what you're doing. Or you know what? To be honest, last year's model is not. It didn't change that much to this year's model, and you can save this amount of money. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, and like it sounds common sense to a lot of people, but once you start building relationships, you're like, okay, like I'm still gonna give these people business, and they want continuous business from us,
mm-hmm.
and now we have a different type of conversation.
Yeah,
They know our business, they know what our goals are, what our goals are to an extent, and then we can have that like better, you know, relationship type
yeah,
shit.
yeah. So we definitely did a lot of networking, and it's a dope thing. This is our third year going to this event, to a boat show, and like we said, it's all the dealers, all the major dealers in the city, in the Twin City area, that go there obviously to sell. Right, they got their boats on display, their jet skis on display. But this was like the first year that we got like recognized.
Yeah, yeah,
People see us and they're like, oh hey, it's you guys, it's the
yeah,
twins,
yeah.
and it's like they know
The
us as
Maxi twins.
the they know us as the Tapia twins. They're like, oh, it's the Tapia twins. Hey, how's it going, guys? You guys looking for something new? You guys looking for this and that? So it's a good feeling when you get recognized as a
Yeah,
as a business. Your kids see it, your family sees it, and it's
yeah.
like, okay, it's kind of like you're doing something right if people are recognizing you.
And it's a good for salespeople. Like that's good. That like if I'm selling something to somebody, and I recognize them that they've rented from me before, they've bought something from me before. It's a good thing to know their name. It's a
Yeah,
good thing to let them know. I remember you.
yeah,
Hey, how are you been? How you doing? How can I help you? You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's also a good sales
Practice.
practice to have to be like, yo, the Tapias are here. You know,
Yeah,
it's not just because we're like, you know, so recognizable.
yeah.
It's like you've seen the names at the end of the bill, the sell bill, or you know, or the what do you call that?
The purchase order.
Purchase order type shit. You know,
Hmm.
and 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 it's also a good practice to have to be like, let's make them feel at home. Let's make them feel comfortable. Let's let them know we're gonna take care of you here.
Hmm.
Boom, type
Yeah.
shit. You know.
Yeah, yeah. So it's obviously it's all business. At the end of the day, it's all business. But it feels better when people are approaching you respectfully and showing some love at the same time.
Yeah.
But as far as like networking, I think probably some of the best um stuff we took from it is just like information on how to get better pricing when you buy things through a business account, or through business credit, like different discounts that we qualify for just for being a business, and then just getting like some inside information as far as like, hey, because these people are selling equipment to other rental companies, so there's obviously other companies that have been doing this a lot longer than us, so we're able to just you know, kind of getting some inside information, like, hey, what do other companies normally go with as far
Yeah.
as the models,
What they buy
and
this year.
yeah, so we're able to get a little bit of that information, and it keeps us, a little bit ahead of the game, and it keeps us competitive, because that's how you got to be. You got to be tactical. So, it was dope, because I feel like we're being our third year. We're more comfortable having these conversations. We have more experience to know what to ask for, or what to ask about, what kind of information we're looking for, and people know we mean business.
Yeah.
We don't, we don't go there just to kick some tires and window shop. Not to brag or anything, but this year we actually went there and we put two boats on a order. So we got two boats that that are on order, and they're going to be ready before the summer.
Yeah.
So that's a good feeling, because people know that we mean business. People know we're not messing around, and whenever they see us and whenever they deal with us in the future, people are going to know, hey, treat those guys right, because they are,
They buy.
they buy, and they're cool people, and
And we
and,
can
and yeah,
leverage shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is the third boat that we're buying with this company. We bought the first boat. We bought it through a different company. Um, Now we can leverage our purchase.
yeah,
Like situation. Like, yo, like I do want to buy these boats from you, but they're gonna give me these boats for
yeah,
this price.
yeah.
Like, can you guys meet me there?
And we
You
got to be
know?
tactical,
Yeah.
because you got to get your foot in the door, and you guys are hearing this from people that we got no business degrees, we got none of that, as far as like college degrees in this, but we moving instinctively, you know what I'm saying? And we're learning this shit as we go. I feel like the best way to go in on things is, you got to pay the price up front. Once you get in the door, then you can start, negotiating at a different level. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can start negotiating on, hey, we're ready to trade some of these older models in, and get some new models in. What's the best price you can get us for these older ones? And then, keep renewing the boats every like 2 years or so like that,
Yeah.
right? And at the same time, it's like, hey, we're gonna put in an order for two more boats or three more boats, or in a couple jet skis. Like, how much can you take off the top off of all these? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's things that we're learning as we're going, and we're paying for our education.
Yeah.
We're not going in there asking for discounts. Um, trying to negotiate. What is called, like, being disrespectful about our negotiations. No, we understand this is our schooling right now, so we got
Yeah.
to pay for our schooling, and as we're learning and as we're going, we are gonna gain that respect, and then we can
Experience también.
and experience, and then we can negotiate, or move in a different way. But you got to pay that cost up front to get in the door, to get on people's radar, to get on people's good side, and then people eventually will let you know, hey, this is honestly the best we can do, or hey,
Yeah.
you're right, you guys are, some of our best customers. We can do this for you guys, or all that good stuff, man. So
It changes the situation where you're like, bro, I can pay this price for these boats. It changes the situation where they can go to their manager and be like, yo, this is the fucking fifth boat they're buying from us, bro. Like, let's give them a fucking deal.
yeah,
It's not the one-time purchase family deal, and then 6 years later they're buying a new boat. They're
yeah,
not gonna cut you much breaks, bro, because they
yeah,
know every 8 years they're gonna see you. It's just a common thing with people buying cars, personal cars, buying personal homes, buying personal boats, buying anything personal. That company already knows, I'm gonna see you in 8 years, and we're gonna take care of you on our as best as we can do
yeah,
for your type of purchase.
yeah,
Now for businesses, now we can do a little something different. We're
yeah,
gonna start giving you some prices that we see. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Um,
yeah. And we learn things. We don't want to get into the details because it could bore people, but there's benefits on obviously having a business account, being a business, being a LLC, and there's benefits on purchasing in advance. There's
Yeah.
There's discounts purchasing in advance. There's things you can save on if you order something from factory instead of on the show floor. So all these little things we're learning as we're going, and we're, it's going into our memory and going into our brain as, oh, this is how this works. Okay. So now we know when to make purchases. Now we know how to make purchases and all that stuff, man. It's crazy. It's crazy because sometimes, we never thought we'd be doing shit like this.
Yeah. It could be surreal sometimes.
Yeah, this is gonna be our fourth summer in business, right? Our fourth summer, right? Yeah. Our fourth summer in business, and it's like, I know 4 years is kind of a lot, but not really when you're talking about in business.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's just say 4 years ago, this was all just a plan. This was all just an idea. This was all just a dream, and we've been taking steps to, keep that dream growing. Excuse me. We've been taking steps to keep that dream growing, pushing that limit, pushing everything, pushing the envelope as far as like what we can achieve, what we can accomplish. And at the same time, I know it ain't always about like being Mexican, but you know what? That's always in the back of my mind. When we're in these we're in these type of places, you see.
Yo, my friend.
Yeah, you see how I'm
very
talking?
Beautiful boats.
What's it called? When we're in these type of places, it's like we're representing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it ain't always about representing and this and that, but in reality, we are representing. Whenever you step into a place, especially a place like this in the boat world, no pun intended. I'm not gonna shout out businesses here, but yeah. When we step into places like this, like we are a representation.
Yeah.
This is at these shows we see probably like a handful of other Latinos. It's not like we're seeing
just one handful.
Yeah.
Very light hand.
Yeah, so it's like it's not like we're seeing like a lot of Latinos or even a lot of Morenos at these places. It's mostly white, you know what I'm saying? So we are here, making a statement. Not really making a statement, but
changing the narrative or something like the people that we're messing with. We just they know us because they know we've bought boats elsewhere. We've bought jet skis elsewhere. We've bought boats through them now. The next brown people that come through, they might just treat them like this is a potential buyer.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh God, like.
Yeah. So like, I guess that's what I'm trying. I don't want to make it so deep and so like, oh, so serious, but it's like, we are representing. We are, by us making purchases, by us being in this business, we are showing other people like, hey, Mexicans are in this business too, right? Mexicans are being successful in this business. They're doing some right. We don't know exactly what they're doing, but they're doing some right if they're able to continue to make these purchases. So we are representing. We are representing in a way, and that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to make it too deep, but
it's because people that sell shit, like especially like let's say boats or let's say houses or let's say nice vehicles, those salesmen, they do this shit every day to the point where they be like, ese güey no va a comprar nada. Mm-hmm. They ain't gonna buy. They're just here to fucking window shop. Yeah. I ain't gonna waste my time with them. I'm gonna go over there. Like, they ain't gonna buy. You know what I mean? And, we're not gonna make this a racial thing. For people that have experienced certain shit in life, you might have experienced that you got overlooked. You might have experienced that.
We experience that all the time.
Yeah. Like, some people are consciously experiencing shit. Some people are in la la land, where it's like, oh, well, they might have made an appointment. I'm not gonna go ahead and assume that they just picked them over me.
Well, yeah, because just the same way that we're moving around networking with people that we've worked with before, we were also walking around getting ignored by other people.
Oh yeah, people that we've never stepped in their business.
We're stepping into their booth, and obviously these are big booths because they have boats and shit and jet skis and shit. And if not one person comes and approaches you and says, "Hey, how's it going, guys? Is there anything I can help you with? You guys looking for anything?" Then obviously they right away judged us off the top, just saying like, oh, who are they? And we're not used to seeing them around here. They're not gonna buy nothing. They're just here to look around. So we do experience that, but this year, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna let that get to me. You know, there was one instance where I think you were in the bathroom, and I was in a boat. You know, this boat was $500,000. You know.
Oh shit! What was you doing in there, Playboy? Get
You
your
know,
funky ass up out of there.
Getting comfortable, man. Getting comfortable because
Hey,
you know I gotta see. I gotta
Touch
it
for yourself.
I gotta put that on the vision board. I gotta see what I gotta see it for myself to put it on the vision board.
You gotta feel the seats on your buttocks.
Feel the leather, man. But you know, I was in there with my kids, and then I wasn't on the where the salespeople were at, right? But my girl was there, and she heard one salesman come to the other salesman and be like, "Hey, is anyone in there with those kids?" You know, and my daughter was showing me the bathroom and stuff, and I think there was your daughter and my son were, walking around checking out the boat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where they see brown kids and then they ask that question and I say this because there was other kids in other boats all by themselves, and I don't believe they had a problem with that.
No, they didn't.
But it's like they see brown kids, and then it's kind of like, oh, what's going on here? This ain't a playground. Like, this is business here. Are you guys gonna buy something or what's going on, right? But I'm not. You know what? This year I'm not gonna let that get to me. Last year we had an incident. We shared that on the pod, but it's like, you know what, man? I'm just, we're moving in such a good way. We're moving in such a positive way, and we're moving forward in such a way that it's kind of like
in a confident way, también.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, if people want to hate, let them hate, but they gotta get used to seeing us here, because this is gonna be a yearly thing, and eventually people are gonna be like, it's them again. But from what I hear, these motherfuckers do be buying shit.
Yeah.
And eventually, treat us nicely, because we moving up. We want to be moving up, and we want to be buying bigger boats. So it's like, if people want to be smart, they got to put some respect on our name. And by putting respect on us, that we're Latinos, we're Mexicans in that space, it's kind of like we're opening the doors for the next Latinos that are going to come in there and possibly buy a boat. Could be as a business, could be as a personal use, but they'll start being a little more used to seeing, oh, more Latinos are coming in, or another Latino customer, or and it's kind of one of those things where we're just kind of like opening the doors and just getting people used to seeing people like us, and all that good stuff, man, all that good stuff. So it was a dope experience. I definitely recommend people stepping out of their comfort zones, whether it's like, there's
RV
so many
shows.
Yeah, that's next, bro.
Tattoo shows.
Yeah. So it's like, it's just stepping out of your comfort zone, and it's one of those things
where you don't feel, and like, just like you just said, where you don't feel comfortable that's where you're supposed to be. Is like, yo, go check it out, bro. Like, I told my girl, like, she told me about that story about the kids, about somebody mentioned something. And I was like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, our kids, they know boats, way. They're not out there like, what does this do? Like, what is this? Like, they know how it's not something they never seen before. They're so natural around boats now. It's not like they're fucking some shit up,
Right.
And I told my girl, I was like, let motherfuckers assume, let motherfuckers think shit. Let's move confident. Let's not move small. And if they say something to us, then that's when we'll address it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other than that, let's just move around and block out the negative shit, way, because that negative shit ain't healthy, bro. You know what I mean?
It ain't healthy. So yeah, step out of your comfort zones. Like, we've gone to like dub shows, and you check out those tricked out cars, and it's like, dope. Picture yourself in those cars. We go. There's like,
bring back the lowrider shows, Holmes.
Yep. There's new car expos where you go check out the new cars that are gonna be coming out. Go to that. Picture yourself in the new joints, and then go to RV shows, go to boat shows. You gotta put yourself in different environments, and you never know. You might get into something that you never thought you'd get into, because you were just there. You found out how easy it is to purchase some of this stuff, and the financing is different when you buy recreational stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah, yeah.
recreational loans are different than auto loans and home loans and credit cards. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
um, that's a thing. Just get yourself out there. Learn different things, and you might step into a new business idea. You might step into a side hustle. You might step into um, a different way for you and your family to spend quality time. You know what I'm saying? So it's you can't go wrong with that. And these things are not that expensive. These people want to sell shit, so they're not selling these tickets for like $50 a pop. You
Right,
know what I'm
right, right,
saying? Like,
right.
it's like kids get in free, and like the tickets are like $12 or something like that. So
Yeah,
it's not gonna break the bank. And it's a dope time to get out there and do something different, man.
that's facts.
But switching it up, man. Talking about kids, we got to get into this little conversation, man. And it's the conversation of the week. It seems like it's gonna be the conversation of the next 4 years, to tell you the truth, though.
Right, right, right.
But like we mentioned, the immigration raids have been going on since the inauguration, which was the 20th. And it looks like every day they're just like that number keeps getting bigger. Like
Right,
it
right,
looks
right.
like they're. I haven't gone to the website, but I see people share pictures of the like what's supposedly on the website.
Like the quota or some
Yeah,
shit.
like today, 989 people were picked up, and things like that, right? So it seems like that number keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But one thing that happened this week is that um, we found out that Trump did another executive order, which he keeps doing all kinds of executive orders. So hard to even keep up with them and even understand exactly what all of them even mean, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But one of the recent ones that really affects our community is he did an executive order that allows ICE to be able to go do raids basically in churches and in schools.
Right, right,
You
right,
know,
right.
and that's a sad thing, because it's like, yo, why you're looking for criminals? Why are you going to a church for?
Yeah.
Why are you going to a school for?
Right, right.
If you're supposedly looking for like dangerous criminals with like violent history, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't gonna be at church. They ain't gonna be in school. like, bro.
Right, right, right. Like that school thing, it brings back something personal way because when we were kids,
Yeah.
we didn't keep up with the news and I don't know if our parents even like I don't know if there was ever any kinds of these executive orders before way.
No, no,
But
no.
when we were kids, I always thought the immigration was gonna pull up to the school way. I was in fucking second grade type shit way. You know what I
Right,
mean? Third
right,
grade. Already
right,
like fearing immigration's gonna pull up. But
right.
now it's a real fucking thing where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, it's it's actually like there's an incentive and there's like a executive order to go out there and just rate it and just
It's like
start.
they're just giving them a license to do whatever the fuck they want to do,
Yeah.
basically, right? So, one thing that I had to do that I didn't think I was gonna have to do at such a young age is basically sit down with my daughter. Because my son, he's 5 years old. He's a kindergartner. He will not understand, even if I try to explain to him. Like, he won't understand like what the difference between being born in Mexico and being born in the United States.
Yeah.
Like, but my daughter, she's 8 years old, and she does understand. She already knows. She knows a lot, and because of this that's happening, and just because of kids that are bullies at school, kids that are want to be funny and say certain jokes about build a wall, or hey, Trump's gonna deport you, and you know before my daughter hears this from any other person, whether it's a kid, whether it's a teacher, because we seen that a teacher in Texas was out here on social media telling ICE to go deport, to go raid his school because there's so many Mexicans in there that don't even know how to speak English.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
we can't take the teachers off the table when we're talking about discrimination, or possible, possible discrimination, possible bullies. So I had kind of slipped. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm like, I don't wanna have that conversation, right? But my girl tells me like, hey, I had to talk with her about what to say if anyone says certain things about her, her being Mexican, or where was she born, or is she a citizen, or is she, illegal, or
Yeah.
shit like that. And I was like, damn, like,
It's like a punch in the gut, huh?
yeah, bro. I was like, fuck, bro. Like, cause I'm like, okay, my girl, I know she knows how to have that conversation, but I gotta make sure I say what I think I need to say, because it's like, yo, I grew up always worried about this, and I grew up with a lot of racism as a kid. We
Yeah.
grew up in a town where, in a town in Oregon where it was very racial. It was all white kids and Mexican kids.
Yeah. The Dalles, Oregon. Shout out to all the homies out there, man.
Yeah, so it was very racial since a very young age. People would call us like all kinds of beaners and wetbacks and cherry pickers and shit like that. So it was kind of like, damn, I gotta have this conversation with my daughter. And I just, I tell her like, hey, like, me and your mom were born in Mexico, right? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, but we just became U.S. citizens, right? Because our daughter knows about that, and she even went with me when I had my ceremony, so she knows we're legit, right? And
which is it's very relieving to like a lot of us that are able to have that like luxury of saying that, you know what I mean?
right,
The
right.
conversation is different in a lot of other family
That's true.
houses way.
No, that's very true. That's very true, and we'll talk about that too. And I'm like, so we're U.S. citizens, okay? So we're we have permission to be here. We're allowed to be here. This is our country, And I'm like, and you and your brother, you guys are U.S. citizens. You guys are Americans, okay? So if anyone asks you, like, where were you born or where are you from, you gotta just tell them. If it's another kid, you gotta tell them like, hey, that's kind of weird. Why are you asking me that? You know. And then just being basically like, if it gets to a point where she just wants to let them know to just so they could leave her alone, just be like, hey, I'm a U.S. citizen. Now leave me alone, or like, hey, don't ask me dumb questions like that. All right, I'm a U.S. citizen, and just basically explaining to her to be like, I'm like, just know that you're American, but it's like, just know where your family comes from and be proud of where we come from. Just know that we have a good story, we have a good family. We have a family that loves each other. We have a family that has worked hard to be where we're at today. Starting from your grandparents, on both sides, and now, like, me as your dad and your mom, and your uncles and your tias, we all worked hard to be at the point where we're at. But we all love this country. I'm like, but we're also very proud to be Mexican American, and we're proud of our culture. I call her buddy, right? We're proud of our culture, buddy. We have a very good culture. We have good values. We have a good family. We have good food. We have good music. We have our Spanish. Our language is a beautiful language, and just like basically like instilling confidence in her, just letting her know like,
empowerment.
hey, empowering her and letting her know like, you're American, but don't ever be ashamed of your Mexican side. Don't ever feel like that's something that you gotta hide or you gotta be ashamed of. Like, that's something that we should be proud of because we got a beautiful story.
Yeah, don't put your head down on no type of this shit. What I mean?
Yeah.
Like, walk with that confidence. And we're saying it because we came from kids that we were very unconfident. We were very scared. We almost wanted to be not noticed. You know what I mean? Because
and like you mentioned, we were on that other side of the coin. Where our when we were kids, our parents were undocumented and we were undocumented. So at one point, we just didn't even want to have the conversation. Because obviously we didn't have papeles, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we were still brown little kids that were proud to be Mexican, and we would still say that shit. We've said this before on multiple podcasts that we would get in a lot of fights with kids that would call us beaners and wetbacks and cherry pickers. For the people that know, out in the West Coast, a lot of Mexicans go pick cherries in Oregon and Washington during the summertime, and Mexicans, that was a slur for us, cherry pickers, right? But so like we know like that feeling is still in us. Like we might have like PTSD off of that shit, but it's like that feeling is still there. So like when I'm telling my daughter, I got to be as mature and patient and like grown up about it.
Yeah.
But it's like in reality, it's like I'm pissed off, bro. I'm pissed
Yeah.
off that I have to even
Yeah.
have this conversation with her because she shouldn't even be worried about nothing of that. You
Because
know?
we thought that it was gonna end with us, way. We thought that
Right.
that things were just getting better, things were progressing, things were gonna be like, hey, it's kind of like when you tell your daughter, Mija, back when I was a kid, there was no iPads. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no way, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you wish you could say, Mija, back in my day, there was racism. What is that? It's like, oh, people didn't like Mexicans.
Well,
No, it's like,
I have had that conversation, because she studied about like Martin Luther King, right? And then she's like, Dad, do you know, like, she'll come home and be like, Dad, do you know that like black people used to be slaves? And I was like, yeah, buddy, I do know that, back in the day, there were slaves, and then she's like, so like white people didn't like black people, and then I'm like, and then we had that conversation,
yeah,
and then I'm at this age now, I'm very honest with her. I'm like, you know what, Mijita, like honestly, there was a point where people didn't like Mexicans either, but now we're at the point where it's kind of like guess
we
what?
back.
Like guess what? They still don't like Mexicans, but I don't tell her that, and I don't want to have that conversation because I don't want that to affect her her way of being, her personality, her energy.
That spark way.
Yeah.
We lost our spark a little young. You know what I mean? As far as thinking, people would like you just because of your being polite or being like morally good, or you know what I mean, like just
Yeah.
being a good person. When we were kids, like we lost it because people called us wetbacks, right? People
Yeah.
called us beaners. People call it so. From a young age, we're like, oh, like people don't judge you off like. And I'm not saying that we completely turn into like fucking animals or some shit, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
we it did something to us to be like, okay, like you're just judging me off of who I am. Like
Yeah.
you're just judging me because from the jump because I'm Mexican. And then from that point on, then you'll continue to judge me if I'm a good Mexican or a shitty Mexican. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But there was things that continuously happened through our life that reinforced that mentality. It
Yeah.
reinforced the the thing about people don't see us as equal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do we let that affect us? Yeah, it affected us to a certain point, but now we're at the age where it's like, fuck that shit. Ain't shit gonna hold us back. Ain't shit gonna affect how our future, what the goals that we have, and that's why we work so hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that I think that's the best way that we can set our kids for a successful future. Like as far as like as far as their future is, you know, like their careers and them being themselves. The best we can do is provide a secure, provide security.
Yeah.
Like work hard, provide security. Let them know like we're able to provide you with everything that you need and even things that you want. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's how we provide this type of like confidence in them
Yeah.
to be like, what you mean like I'm less than you, bro? Like I live in a better neighborhood than you, or like,
Yeah.
bro, like and never on some cocky shit. Like I don't want my kids to be cocky and show offs and presumidos, but they're gonna. I work my ass off, bro, and me and my girl work our asses off, so our kids can never feel lesser than
Yeah.
anybody else. They ain't gonna.
When the situation comes, right? When somebody maliciously tries to down them,
Yeah,
they could have that confidence to be like, "What do you mean, bro? Like, I'm I have everything and more than I need."
yeah,
And again, we some nice motherfuckers because we don't even want to say it. Wait,
yeah,
we're like, motherfucker, I have more than you. Wait,
yeah,
like look at you, bummy ass motherfucker. Wait,
yeah.
like look what you driving, dude. Like, we don't even want to say that shit because that's culero. Way.
Because we were raised humilde, way. We were
Yeah.
raised to be humilde. We were raised to be respectful. We were raised to be polite, way. That's why we don't even have that energy to come at people like that. But
Yeah.
I want, like, that's why we work so hard. That's why you work so hard, so we could provide our kids with everything that they want and they need. That way, if people ever come at them in a disrespectful way of being like, ha, that's why you're poor, and be like, motherfucker, like I got 2 houses, like I got like, this and that. What are you talking about? Like, I go to
We're not on the same bracket, baby.
I go on vacation every year, like, and like, again, not on some cocky shit, but we gotta be able to provide that security for our kids, and that confidence of like, you ain't no better than me. Like, you can't tell me you do something that I can't do, or I haven't done, or I won't do.
And this comes not just because we're assuming that things are going to be said, we're assuming that things are going to happen. We're just too familiar with things that are said. We're just too familiar from our personal experience. Our sister just texted us this week that her daughter in class, she has like a Russian classmate that some of the white kids were asking her like, hey, to the Russian girl, are you going to get deported now? Are you going to get sent back? And she started crying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And bro, if a white Russian girl is going to start crying because they're making fun of her or getting deported back to Europe, imagine these Latino kids, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that anything's bigger of an issue than not, but our Latinos are getting like persecuted, like targeted with a heavier hand way.
Because, Russians, sometimes if you're not talking, if you don't talk, people will just assume that they're just white Americans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Latinos, they're looking at us, the color of our skin, our hair color, the way we look right away. They're like, they're Latinos.
Yeah.
Let's check their status.
Right?
That's a little bit of something that's happening with that section of, the immigration deal that's going on with the whole executive order. Kids having to worry about this shit at school, man. And even we've already seen videos of ICE pulling over school buses, and getting kids off the bus.
Yeah.
Are they using them as like bait? You know what I'm saying? We don't like, these motherfuckers are so snaky and so like fucking
heartless
and just low life scum way that they're capable of grabbing kids off a bus and telling the parents, hey, we got your kids, come get them. And as a form of like, you got no other choice. You either come get your kids or they're going to be in detention homes. Like, we've heard stories of ICE going to church and pulling people out of church. Again, we've talked about this before. The churches were behind Trump. Like, how do you feel now? Like, how do people feel now? Like, there's a lot of Latinos for Trump right now. If they got any type of fucking little bit of corazon left in them, if they got any bit of anything left in them, bro, they're feeling pretty stupid right now.
I don't give them that much credit, way.
They're feeling pretty stupid, or they're feeling pretty like regretful.
I don't even give them that much credit.
Like I said, there got to be a few. There got to be a few.
A lot of these motherfuckers don't have that type of energy or empathy in them to think that far into shit, way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see no Trump supporter Latino that said, God damn it, man, maybe I wasn't right. Maybe I fucked up. I don't give them that.
Because this is what we've been seeing online, right? There's a lot of Latino influencers, especially on both sides. On the Instagram side, which a lot of the influencers that we follow and
watch out with that tap of the chest where your hand goes next, way.
From my heart goes out to you. My heart does not go out to these motherfuckers. But it's like one thing that we've been seeing, like as far as like our space, the space that we're in, there's a lot of Mexican American people. There's a lot of second, third generation Latinos, Mexicans, that seem to just avoid the whole conversation because if people feel like, yo, this shit got nothing to do with me. I don't got any relatives that are dealing with this anymore. I'm third generation. Like, yo, my great grandparents dealt with it. Like, there's no more ties to it, right? Or they just don't feel like there's a need to speak on it, right?
There's no connection to it.
There's no connection. So I feel like that's the space that we're in for whatever reason. And we have seen support. We have seen people in our space support Trump. There's some people that we didn't, that we just ignored. Whatever. Some people just talk a lot of shit, so we don't take it very serious. My bad to cut you off.
there's a difference to people that are in our space that voted for Trump, that fuck with Trump, and all that bullshit. Way. Do I support that? No, I don't. Way. Do I think that some of their views are off? Way. I do think that. Um, One of the biggest things that it's different is I've never put money in their pocket. Way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not a business that I've invested in. You're not an idea.
You're not something I've supported financially
or mentally, or thought that you were like part of this culture.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with your ass. Way. I just met you a few years ago, and you just became somewhat in the space and the radar.
There's no emotional ties.
There's no emotional ties. You voted for Trump. Oh wait, no mamas. All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's where you at. Cool. You know where I'm at. All right, cool. But we ain't over here financially invested in each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a difference, right? That's a difference. But we see people that, you know, support Trump, and it's like, whatever. You know, a lot of people are, like I said, Chicanos in the space, so it's like, okay, obviously we don't see things the same because we're Mexican. We're actually born in Mexico. We grew up undocumented. I know we keep drilling that people's heads, but we were,
if they missed it,
you know, for people that miss it, you know, we came here at the age of 3, and we were undocumented until the age of 25. And then just this year, both of us became, I mean, not this year, just in the year of 2024, we both became U.S. citizens, right? So this is still something that's very important to us. This is still something that's very, like, serious for us. Like, it's not like we got our papers and became citizens and it's like, man, fuck y'all, we're good. You know, ahí se la arreglan ustedes como puedan. Nah, like, we were once you guys, and in reality and mentally, we are still you guys. Yeah. Like that feeling, that love, that fear, you know, that we've all felt, like that shit doesn't just go away overnight. Yeah. It's like a police pulling you over and you got nothing in your car, but you're still a little nervous. It's just the same deal. Immigration is in the area. You're still a little nervous because it's just a PTSD that we have, right? But so that's one thing. In our space, a lot of people aren't talking about it, but you know, being on TikTok también, there's like a whole different world of influencers over there, and a lot of Latino influencers, which their main fan base are like Mexicans, like Spanish is your main language type of deal. And you know, there's a lot of people that were in support of Trump, and now there's a dude out there. What's his name? Carlos Espina.
Espina. Shout out to that fool. That fool's gangster as fuck. Way.
You know, when we talk about gangsters, you know, there's people that stand up, you know, stand on business and come educated. So that dude right there, Carlos Espina, man, our respects to that guy. He definitely knows how to come correct with facts and let people know exactly how things are. And how they're wrong, you know what I mean?
And consistently, shot for shot.
Yeah.
Like you come at him, he's coming back at you.
Yeah. So, you know, there was a lot of Latino influencers over there that were supporting Trump. And now that all these raids are happening, a lot of people are backtracking. A lot of people are staying quiet. A lot of people are saying, oh, it was all just for publicity. I didn't really vote for him. I just said that to get more views, to get more traction, to get more followers. In reality, they know that what they voted for is causing a lot of problems, a lot of trouble in the Latino community right now. Yeah. We're getting targeted. We're getting, you know, harassed.
We're getting treated as second-class citizens. Right?
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, I didn't know that's what was going to happen. If I did, I wouldn't have voted for him." Like, bro, this is his campaign. That's what he was campaigning on. That he was going to deport. That he was going to do the biggest mass deportation in the history, right? So
you get ignorant ass fools talking about, like, no, mi gente, ellos nomás van a agarrar los criminales. Yeah. La gente que no está haciendo crimen no se tiene que preocupar. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah, and then they just came out, like the Trump administration, which is, I don't know her name, but it's a girl that she's like the spokesperson.
Yeah, she's the new spokesperson.
And she came out saying like, well, because people were saying like, well, how many of them have violent records or, you know, violent history, you know, like what kind of criminals are you guys getting? She's like, well, to tell you the truth, if you enter the country illegally, then you are in fact a criminal.
Yeah.
And
In theory, you're a criminal.
Yeah. So they went off the whole basis of if you are a violent criminal, if you have a criminal history, but now they're just flat out saying like, yo, if you enter the country illegally, you're a criminal and you're gonna get deported too.
Yeah.
So that's why things are like so serious now. A lot of people are backtracking their support, and it's kind of like it's a little late. Obviously, obviously, it's a little late.
Check this out though. The idea of these countries emptying out their prisons and flooding the United States with all their killers and rapists and no sé qué tanto way. It like where they at? How come you're not showing me these face tatted as gangbangers, cartel members that supposedly you guys are gonna deport? No, the people that I see you deporting are people in the fields, people at work, señoras, señores. I ain't seen no dude in fucking I'm not gonna go too extreme on some shit way, but I ain't seen no fucking bald headed, tatted up faced gangbanger getting deported way.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people on their way to work way.
Right. And that's the
where's the fucking dangerous criminals that we're supposed to be looking out for way.
Right. And that's the thing, that's why we're seeing videos of ICE going door to door, knocking on people's doors if they know that they're Latinos that live there, and just straight up asking, first of all, they're coming with fake warrants because they're basically thinking that we're stupid enough to just open the door, which for the people that listen to us, if you gotta, we said this, we'll say this again, never open the door. Talk to them through the door, slide a window, crack a window open, talk to them through a window, but never open the door, because once you open that door, they use that as an excuse that you welcome them in your house. So never open the door. And then from what I hear, people, from some of the lawyers that I follow, that we follow, and obviously don't take this advice direct from me, do your own research, but, don't just go off of like they're violating your immigration rights. They're violating your civil rights, So you got to go off of that. You got to look into your civil rights and what rights we have as people. But we're seeing that they're approaching people's houses with fake warrants. They're trying to fucking just break through people's doors. They've done it in a few houses already. They're just trying to basically kick doors open, push doors open so they could get in,
intimidate everybody.
And it's like, bro, they're I don't know where they found this such a large group of people that are willing to just do this type of job way, because they couldn't pay me $100 an hour to go after our paisanos like this, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I see is I see a lot of Latinos, bro. I see a lot of brown fools like me and you going after our people way.
They're the ones in the green suits way.
Yep. There's like, bro, like, I don't know how you can do it way. I don't know how you can grab a señora, handcuff her, and take her to a detention center way. Like I don't know, bro. They couldn't pay me enough to do some shit like that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the I'm just doing my job type shit way. Like damn, bro. Like some of the videos I seen, bro, you ain't treating these people with any type of respect. You ain't treating. We've seen, some motherfuckers might say I'm extreme way, but we've seen people that have gone off and done mass shootings way, that get treated, that are getting escorted out of buildings that they shot up with more respect that they're treating our undocumented Latinos way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they straight up treat us. I know we said this last time, like little kids, like little criminal second class citizens way.
Yeah.
It's just like we ain't like, somebody said it way, and it's true, like subhuman way. We're just lesser than.
And that's the thing. I seen this one story where this lady was saying like they dehumanize us.
Oh yeah.
They dehumanize us to a point where they don't feel it's wrong treating us the way they're treating us, because to them, they've already been conditioned to the point where they don't see us as just your regular human. They see us as a criminal. They see us as someone bad. They see us as something that is not is equal to them. So by that, treating us the way you're treating us is okay because we're not the same. We're bad, you know. So it's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy what's happening. Excuse me.
And it was a little, it was, ¿cómo se puede decir? Overwhelming to the point that I think we kind of held back on even like recording, way.
Yeah, we you know, people know we normally record on Monday, but bro, like you mentioned, this is so heavy on our hearts, bro, that we don't want to get on here and get too heated, too emotional.
We don't want to crash out on this motherfucker.
No way, but bro, I can't. I would be lying if I didn't say that this shit is like on my mind all day long.
Yeah,
bro. Like I can't even concentrate. Wait, just being like, yo, like what's happening to our people right now? Like, you know, because we're out here in Minneapolis, and sure enough, we're getting notices like, yo, immigrations in this town,
and cities we move around in, cities we know,
and heavy populated Latino cities, right?
We already kind of know it. Like we already ourselves knowing in the city, Minneapolis, and the other cities around it. We already know what areas they might be hitting because we just know where the raza's at.
Yeah. So, you know, we see those videos and it's kind of like, damn, like it's hard to go about your day just knowing that friends, family, and just your people are living in fear at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like going to work, you can't even be at peace. Going to the grocery store, you can't even be at peace. Going and pick up your kids at the bus stop, you can't even be at peace. Or at school, like
you can't even go praise the Lord in peace.
You can't even praise the Lord in peace, man. Like we're at the point where we're just getting like harassed at every corner, bro. And yeah, of course they're trying to press us because they want people to self-deport, but it's like this is no way to treat people. This is no way to live. And it's like for kids to have this on their mind, like that's no way for kids to live. Like they're already going to school and they have to worry about someone. They already have to worry about school shootings, and now they got to worry about raids in school.
Yeah,
it's like, and then they got to worry with just the regular bullshit that happens in school, and it's like, fuck, wait, like how much pressure can you put on these kids? Wait?
Yeah, you know, there was a big movement on bullying. You know what I mean? Like, motherfucker, bullying doesn't compare to the immigration pulling up to your school and yanking out your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of trauma is that way?
Yeah, and what we're seeing now, I don't know if you saw that video where fucking Dr. Phil's tagging along with these rides and
fuck that
like,
motherfucker.
It's like what, like we're like a fucking show to you now. Like we're like a fucking, you know, it's like a fucking fun ride. Like, oh, let's go catch some undocumented illegals, right?
Yeah, and they won't even call us undocumented way. They'll call us illegals. Like, let's go look at the illegals, you know. And Dr. Phil pulls up with this trench coat, you know, like he's this just. You know what I mean? It's like this whole, and you know, yes, he's an intelligent motherfucker. Yes, he's a successful motherfucker. Yes, he's a smart motherfucker. Right? But to this certain topic, he's ignorant as fuck, and he has no empathy.
He just, I mean, obviously he's just doing it for the views. He's doing it for his own benefit. But it's like, yo, we're not a show. We're not, our pain is not a show.
And why are you making it a viral clip of the dude that you guys came across that has these criminal charges that is gonna criminalize it and make everybody be this predator instead of going to the Home Depot or going to the field and arrest those undocumented people? What are you gonna get from them? I'm just here working to provide for my family. I got 2 kids. You know, my husband's also working here. You know, we're just trying to make ends meet, and we're just trying boom, boom, boom. You won't go. That ain't gonna give you the ratings
because that's not gonna feed the narrative that they're trying to give us.
They're gonna go get those gangbangers, and they're gonna go get these predators, and they're gonna put it across the board that these are the people in your community.
Right. But yeah, man, our fucking pain is not your entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this bullshit of fucking Dr. Phil tagging along, and I seen other people tagging along, and it's like, yo, what the fuck's gonna happen? Like pretty soon they're gonna have a fucking reality show of like catching undocumented immigrants or catching illegals, and you know, yo, the way this shit's headed, they're gonna fucking motherfuckers gonna be able to pay for this experience. for $29.99, you can ride along with
Yeah.
a ICE agent and catch undocumented immigrants.
Or it might be a fucking Las Vegas bet pretty soon. You know, like how many illegals can they round up in a day? You know what I mean? Is it gonna
It's
be
like, bro,
this number, or whatever the fuck shit lands, right?
they're making it a fucking entertainment of our pain, of our struggle, and putting us on. Put like, bro, you don't gotta put motherfuckers on camera like that way. Like,
Yeah.
that's bullshit way. But there's a lot of Latino influencers. There's a lot of Latino actors, actresses, singers, whatever, that don't come forward, right? They don't say nothing. They stay quiet. You know, some people don't want to get involved. And I can respect people not getting involved if you've never put anything political out. If you complained, if you've like publicly complained about the gas prices when Biden was president, or the egg prices when Biden was president, then you should be complaining about what's happening to our community.
Yeah.
But if you've never complained about anything and you've never got political about anything, I can respect you just staying out of it.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of motherfuckers that was heavy on complaining about egg prices and gas prices and any other bullshit about the Biden administration. And then they see our community being attacked the way they are, and they're just silent. They're quiet.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. Motherfucker, be vocal. Be vocal about, injustice. Be vocal about shit that's happening to your community, to your people, to the people that feed you, to the people that make you the money that you make. You know what I'm saying? But one person that did come out and she got a lot of heat for was Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
She put a video out crying, and she felt helpless. She felt like, one thing that she said is like, I feel bad that they're coming after my people like this. Mm-hmm. And I feel helpless. I don't know what to do, but I promise I'm going to do something, right?
Yeah.
And she was crying. People took that and are just talking shit to her. They're attacking her. They're bullying her because she felt like she had to just let people know, like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Just know that this is heavy on my heart and I'm thinking about my people. Mm-hmm. And that makes, bro, that to me, bro, I was proud when I saw that, bro, because I'm like, Selena Gomez, like, you're like on a different level.
Yeah, I never seen you in our radar, our raza radar. You know what I mean? To be like,
but yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I know she's Latina. I know she's Mexican. It's almost like Becky G is kind of, I'd be like, okay, I would kind of get that from her. Mm-hmm. But like Selena Gomez is like super out there, super mainstream.
She's like one of the top like people on Instagram with the most followers, right?
And for real?
And even on TikTok.
Oh,
yeah,
shit,
she has like, at one point she was the one with the most followers on Instagram.
Damn.
So for her to put out something and still feel that close to her community and be like, they're attacking my people.
Yeah.
I seen that, bro, and I was like, thank you. Like, thank you for bringing awareness to what's happening to all your followers, because a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people, not even half the following that she has, are mentioning anything, right? So for her to do that, I thought that was very brave of her.
I think it's ignorant as fuck, bro, too. Like, and I know it's very easy jokes for like comedians or like these clever don't give a fuck motherfuckers way to be like, oh my God, a millionaire crying in her tears. Oh my God, she's crying in her mansion as she gets in her Bugatti to go to, on her private jet. It's like, okay, so you're saying just because somebody's millionaire status or Hollywood status doesn't have the right to feel for people, her people, like Latinos, period. I don't understand that way where we could see a TikTok that somebody's crying because they are dealing with addiction. And we're like, okay, I get it, bro. Like, I get your pain. We can see somebody crying because they just got evicted from their crib. And we're like, oh my God, prayers to you, bro. Let us know if we can do anything, Somebody else crying because their husband or wife cheated on them. Everybody's cool with that. But when a millionaire cries that her Latino people are getting rounded up and mass deportations, that's where we fucking draw the line of like, that's fake. You don't really care. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck, bro?
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. I think that's bullshit, bro. I think everyone has the right to express how like the way that they feel expressing of how they feel or how they feel at this point. Because like I said, this is heavy on my heart right now, bro. This is heavy on my mind every day. I'm thinking of like who's gonna get who's gonna get deported now. Like how ugly is the next deportation gonna be? Like you know what I'm saying? Like well, how many
Yeah.
families are gonna get separated today? Like that's real shit, bro. Like it's not just about you're taking a man out or you're deporting a woman out. No, you're deporting a mom. You're deporting a dad. And who did the kids get left behind with?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this person. I guess he's in the Senate. His name is Sam Parker. This was his response to Selena Gomez, right? And this is what he said, bro. He says, Selena Gomez picked illegals over America because she's the third generation descendant of Mexican illegals who received citizenship in the 87 amnesty. She has an entitlement attitude toward America like her illegal grandparents. Maybe Selena should be deported too. It's like, bro, so she's not allowed to have empathy and she's not allowed to be sad about what's happening to her Mexican community. Like, bro, that shit pisses me off. And I have to cool myself down.
Relax.
I have to relax, bro, because motherfuckers like that, bro. Twitter fingers, bro.
Yeah.
They're
Tough on the social medias.
They're tough on social media, bro. But that type of shit like that will make me fight a motherfucker, bro. Because it's like, bro, you think you have a problem with us feeling sad about our people getting mistreated, and it's like, and you twist it in a way where you try to take the value out of it, or you try to, what is that called?
You're making us less than way.
Yeah, you twist it in a way where you taking from it what it should really be. It's like, yo, she's sad about what's happening to her community. Can she not be sad about that?
People forget that.
Like, how can you twist that? Like, people can be sad about shit that happens in Paris. People can be sad about shit that happens in fucking France, or I think that's in the same country. But people can be sad about things that happen in Australia, and it's like a Caucasian person's crying about it, and it's like, yes, it's sad, you know. But a Mexican person is crying about something that's happened to other Mexican people. Then you bring out all the excuses in the book. How come she doesn't cry when children go missing?
Oh.
How come she doesn't cry when Americans are killed by illegal aliens?
Yeah.
Why does she? It's like, bro, she can be sad about all that shit too.
Yeah.
But in this moment in time, she has to let people know, like, yo, my people are being attacked and ain't nobody really saying shit. So she got to the point where she felt like she just needed to speak out. And again, a lot of people might not like the way she spoke out, but you know what? Everyone has the right to do it the way they want. And that's the way she did it. And I'm proud of her, bro. And I'm happy about it, because it's like, damn, that takes a lot of balls. And we see in this day and age, that's balls coming out and letting people know exactly where you stand.
Yeah. You know, and there's other influencers way that I've seen that I don't follow. I don't know these people. You know, they're either the cute girl or that cute dude that are like the super Latino influencers that they do the dances, they do the jokes.
Yeah.
Platforms are followed by Latinos. Majority of your followers are Hispanic people. Now you're not Latino when the Latino shit hits the fan. Yeah. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but our people are getting attacked in a certain extent. Mm-hmm. I seen this video of a girl like acting like a person, bro, like acting like a person of entitlement and so distant to she has connection with Latinos when she wants to sell something. Mm-hmm. She has connection to Latinos when she wants to tell a story. But now when it's time to say, yo, our people are getting deported, yo, mi gente, be careful. Now she doesn't know what to say, way. Like, these motherfuckers make a video every 15 minutes. And then her video was like, ¿Qué quieren que diga? There's nothing I can say that's going to change what's going on. It's like, motherfucker, nobody says you're gonna change some shit.
Is that the same one that said, "I don't work at the White House"? Like, what do you want me to do?
It could have been her way. I don't know these people's names.
I don't know them names either. But
so I'm just saying, it's like I felt so annoyed. I'm like, yo, man, like, you guys really making these motherfuckers famous? You guys really making these people money? Where it comes to the point where your money counts, your views count, and you're giving it to these people that are like, ¿qué quieren que diga?
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, this is not my thing. Yo no sé nada de político. Ain't nobody saying shit about you being political. No. We haven't said executive order XB1. We don't know nothing about that shit, way. But we're just saying, stand up for your people.
Yeah, just like you can repost shit, or just like you can post shit about a product. You can repost like a march or a protest. You can repost anything that can help the community. Like, you know, like the way we feel, we're not like the biggest political educated on laws and all that, but we don't get we don't get deep into the laws and into the politics like that. But on the face value of things, we know what's right and what's wrong, and we know what affects our community, and we know what doesn't. Like, we'd be fools if we would be sitting here right now talking to you guys about the latest dance trend while our community is being attacked the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we do want to mix it in with other things that are happening, but right now this is just so
overwhelming. Like, yeah. The Latino social medias, the ones that give a fuck, because I see a lot of other platforms and podcasts that they don't give a fuck about La Raza to I'm not gonna say to the level that we do, but they're not in the same space that we are, bro. You know, some people are worried about other things. You know, they're worried about
endorsements.
Endorsements. They're worrying about ads. They're worrying about politics on the White House, politics in prison. They're worried about this. They're worried about that. They're worried about rappers. I ain't worried about none of that shit right now, bro. Yeah. Like, what's up with people claiming raza, way, and they're not down to defend or stand up for la raza, way? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this way: there's motherfuckers that openly were promoting Trump, openly were saying like that was like the alpha thing to do, like that's just the bro thing to do. They got influenced by them other dudes, way. That happens. Not me. That's not what I fell for.
Yeah.
But now that Trump won, now their content creativity or content that they're putting out there is, mi gente, there's mass deportations over here. Mi gente, there's mass deportations over here. Like, how the fuck do you create content on voting for the guy that was going to create these deportations, and now your content is about, mi gente, what do you think about all the raza getting deported over here? Like,
yeah.
Now your content is about...
Those people are the worst, way. Those people are the worst playing...
What the fuck is that?
Playing both sides of the fence, literally, way. It's like, bro, you're going to vote for someone that been claiming they were going to do this to our community, and you openly supported that person, and now this is happening, and you're using your platform to monetize or benefit or get views and likes off of our pain and our struggle. That's the shit that I don't like, way. I don't like motherfuckers playing both sides of the fence for their own benefit, way. It's like you wanna be down with la raza, but you wanna vote that way, and it's like, bro, you can't have both ways. You gotta pick a side and stick on that side. You know what I'm saying? Like that's motherfuckers like that have no fucking shame, way. Motherfuckers like that have no fucking
self-respect.
You're like, damn, bro. Like, do you not know we know that you said what you said, and now you're over here acting like you ain't that guy. Like, bro. Like,
I know you know that I know that you know I know.
Yeah, bro. So don't act like you don't know, motherfucker. But let's talk about this.
Oh, shit.
Let's talk about this, bro, because this one it's something that popped up, and it's very disappointing because it's an artist that we've been listening to since we were youngsters, way. And when I mean youngsters, I'm going way back to the 90s, way, you know.
Shit, and we were like fucking 10 years old, way.
Yeah, way. You know, and we're talking about MC Magic. You know,
Shit.
MC
Pretty tragic what he did.
I seen someone call him MC Tragic way. Um, you know, recently an interview that he did, and I had seen him in the comments, so I can't say that this is comes to a major surprise to me.
Yeah.
Because I had seen him in the comments before, you know, being very pro Trump, you know, and at the same time I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna ignore that shit. I'm not. I don't want to get too into it.
Yeah.
Like we did last election, you know. But he dropped he did an interview with a podcast with a podcast called Bootleg Kev, right?
Yeah.
And he was just sharing his reasons on why he's supports Trump, you know, and it made no sense to me. And I was like, I was actually even more disappointed of his reasoning for it.
Yeah, there was no logic. There was no educated reason.
Because the reason that came out, the reason that he said on that podcast was basically he comes out and says, I was born in Mexico, so I was once these guys, right? I was once one of you guys, and the government helped me. They provided me food. They provided me government cheese,
The basics way.
you know,
Cheese, beans, and
probably housing,
milk
right?
and shit.
And then he says, but then he says that back in the day, he's like, I'm from the times where immigrants came to work in America. Nowadays, these immigrants are coming to kill Americans.
What the fuck is up with that narrative, way?
And it's like, bro, like, do you know how like dangerous that message is that you're putting out, bro? Like that's the same message that Trump put out. Like
That's worse than what Trump put out, way.
Yeah. Well, you know, Trump put out like the whole rapists and murderers and drug dealers shit, right? And you know, for the people that seen that whole interview, you know, he did mention the whole rapist and the whole raping and the murdering way. So it's kind of like, bro, why are you going off of that narrative where you, out of everyone, you know, you're from this community, you should know how many good Latinos, you should know how many good immigrants are in this country. You should know how many.
You got insider information, way. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when we talk about like the disappointment of certain shit, right? Like Joe Rogan could do some shit. Who's the guy in UFC? They confuse both of those dudes. They look alike.
Dana White.
Dana White. Theo Vaughn could do some shit. The Jake Paul bros could say some shit. And it's like, we could be like, that's fucked up, way. But you know what? You motherfuckers weren't raised like us.
Yeah, you guys don't know. You guys don't know any better.
You guys didn't even cruzar la frontera like we did. Like your parents didn't speak Spanish or a different language like ours did.
You guys don't know the struggle.
You don't know the struggle.
Yeah.
But when the motherfucker tells you that he came just like you came and all these new people are coming, but for some reason we came to work and y'all are coming here to hurt us.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that?
That's
way?
like that's obviously a bad image and a bad message you're painting for other people, you know. And when I say other people, it's like other than Latinos, you know. It's like, oh shit, so if a Mexican person is telling us that these people are coming to kill us,
the messenger means something.
Then this must be true.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm very disappointed with where MC Magic stands and what his beliefs are as far as this and how he sees this whole situation, because we grew up listening to his music since we were youngsters. And again, we saw Latino rappers, Chicano rappers with Latino Chicano descent as a form of pride. You know, when we heard their music, we were proud. We're like, yeah, they're Mexican and they're dope and they're representing us and letting people know like Mexicans can rap too and Mexicans, we're cool too, you know. And it's like all those years that we invested into listening to his music, and even following him till this day, and then just seeing where he stands at with this whole, you know, administration, is like, damn, bro, that hurts, way. That hurts because it's like, how could you, way? How could you turn your back on people that supported you your whole career? Like, you should know more than anyone that when you do shows, 99.9 of your fans are Latinos.
Yeah.
99.9 of your fans have Latino descent, and a lot of them have close ties to immigrants. A lot of them are immigrants. A lot of them have family that are undocumented. A lot of them are undocumented. Like you have fans in Mexico, so it's like, what kind of message are you sending to your fans in Mexico that you don't even see, that you see them as a danger to this country?
They see him, the way that I see it now from seeing what he said, he just sees them as somebody that's going to put money in his pocket way, not somebody that he cares enough to think you guys are important enough or valuable enough to come to this country way. You know what I'm saying? But MC Magic, we've seen him come to our city a few times already, multiple times throughout the years already. We have an idea of who MC Magic, and I'm not going to mention the other two rappers that come with him because,
we don't want to connect them.
We're not going to connect them. We haven't seen what we're not going to connect them to shit that we haven't seen way. So we're going to just talk about MC Magic. I know, or we have an idea of who the crowd is in MC Magic's show way. Coming to Minneapolis, coming to Detroit, going to Chicago, going to Milwaukee. We have an idea. We're very similar cities. The people that are going to your shows way, they're not even people in our generations type shit way. A lot of them, if you look at the flyers, like I look at the flyers, 14 plus way, or all ages shows way. And I'm not talking down on the shows way. I'm just telling you who's at those shows and why you have to open up the back in the days when we used to go to shows, it's 21 plus. You got enough fans and you got enough situation to make it that. I can see a lot of these kids that in their mind, they think that they're so deep in the culture that they're gonna go support this. They're sporting Charlie Browns and these concerts. They're sporting Ben Davis and these concerts.
And you have MC Magic coming out with a Mexican flag and an American flag. And again, that's something that I always saw and I was like, that's dope. Representing, because we love both flags.
And you should raise both of them.
So it's like when we saw him coming out waving both flags and representing for Mexican Americans, Chicanos, Mexicans, it's like dope. That's who we are. That's us right there. Like that's a representation of who we are. But we're not supposed to forget about where we come from.
Right.
Just because we can be proud of where we at today and what our families are today doesn't mean we got to forget of how we came in this country or how our families came in this country, because I never want to be the guy that says I'm in and I want to close the door for the people that want to come in behind me because we got it good right now. If we let more people in, then they're going to fuck shit up. And it's like, that's not a good mentality to have, because what if the people before us did that to us or had that mentality about us? We wouldn't like that. Obviously, we wouldn't be here. So that changes the whole feeling of it. Like you running out with flags, it's kind of like, to me, I see it as like, bro,
you're just a character.
Is that even real anymore?
It's
because
not.
How can you wave both flags like that and vote the way you voted and just sit back and you haven't, again, he hasn't come out and said anything like, yo, guys, like I gotta be real with you guys. I did support it because of these reasons, blah blah blah, but I don't agree with the way our people are getting attacked and the ICE raids, and like he could literally come out and say something like that, and we'll be like, all right, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt at least, but it's like, you gotta do some. You can't just sit there and promote that and then just sit back and be like, yo, this. Because by sitting back and not saying nothing, it's kind of like saying like, yo, this is exactly what we voted for. Get him out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And for the people that know who we're talking about, MC Magic, he's not your white looking Mexican. You know what I mean? Like,
he's not a white-sican.
He's not a white-sican. If you run into him at the airport, you're not even thinking that this guy is some kind of superstar. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be surprised to think that, or I'd be surprised to know that this dude doesn't come across any type of stereotype or people profiling him way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised for that way because not only, and I'm talking shit now. Okay, let's just talk some shit that way. Not only is he a dark skinned Mexican, maybe as tall as we are. Some people might say as short as we are. Um, he's in his 50s, dressing like a younger dude. Way, it's kind of hard not to notice him, and it's kind of hard not to throw some judgment on the man. Who's this older brown man dressing like a younger cat? You know what I'm saying? And when you dress like that, you're gonna get some kind of people are gonna treat you some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be surprised to know that he doesn't come across these situations where he gets treated in a way where it's not professional, where it's not as a adult. You know what I mean?
There's going to be a lot of Latinos for Trump that are going to get stopped and they're going to get questioned and they're going to get asked for their, ID. They're going to get asked for their passport. And that's when a lot of motherfuckers are going to realize, like, damn, I did this. I voted for this. You know what I'm saying?
I got that nopal.
Yeah.
That nopal ain't going nowhere, baby.
And another crazy thing is that, MC Magic calls himself the $1 million Mexican,
Oh, man.
And it's like, who made you a millionaire?
Mm-hmm.
Mexicans.
Yeah.
So it's like, how dare you call yourself the $1 million Mexican that became a millionaire because of Mexicans and then vote against Mexicans?
Mm-hmm. God, you can't make this shit up,
bro. It's like
we gotta study these MAGA boys because, man, they done really.
They're gonna do a study on this, bro. They're gonna do a study on how people voted against their best interests or voted against their own people.
The people, like, we're in business way. How could we like really go against the people that are putting money in our pockets way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look at the fucking crowds. Look at the crowds that are going to these concerts way. And we're not, we're talking about MC Magic now because he made it public and he said some stupid ass shit way. Let's keep it real. He said Latinos, or he said the immigrants that are coming in today are coming in just to murder Americans way.
Yeah.
That's ignorant as fuck way.
It is, bro.
But I seen a comment of somebody, somebody saying, you'll be surprised how many other Latino rappers are Trump supporters también. Yeah. Or maybe talking in this way.
We seen the top Latino podcast in our space. They're all Trump supporters too.
Yeah.
And it's like it's disappointing way. It's disappointing to see like how we could get to this point where people are so like disconnected with our community that you can feel comfortable enough or be selfish enough to vote in a way that harms your community. You know what I'm saying?
It's one thing that I've noticed is just people feeling so smarter than and educated and being like, oh, you just don't know because you just haven't read enough. They
say like we're too emotional, or like MC Magic said it himself in there, like, oh, we're too people like us, we're too emotional.
Yeah.
That we just think about like, did you see what he said about black people? Did you see what he said about Mexicans? He's racist. Like,
yeah. He sounded like Gringo Bling.
It's like, bro, we're not emotional. This is someone flat out telling us in our face he doesn't like us, and then to see people like us voting that way, nos da un pinche coraje, way. It's like, bro, like, how do you expect us not to get pissed off at other Latinos, other Mexicans that voted that way and putting us in this fucking situation?
Yeah. We have the fucking right to do it, way, because if motherfuckers only knew the neighborhood that I live in, way, the town that I live in, fuck Biden flags and trucks, fuck Biden flags on their houses. Motherfuckers put up poles, really high flag poles with fuck Biden or, Donald Trump, let's go Brandon. For 4 years, it was fuck Biden, let's go Brandon. But they're not emotional way. They're not doing anything out of the norm. They're not acting like beta males. They're not acting like little bitches. Bro, they just love their country so much that they're gonna go against the presidents that is there, and they're gonna they're not gonna accept that. They're not gonna accept that he's the president. He's not my president.
Yeah.
When people said Biden's not the president, that's fine. That's okay. Nobody on the left or nobody on the yeah, you better accept him as your president. If you're American, you'll realize that that's your. But bro, try to say Trump is not your president way, and watch these motherfuckers get emotional way.
Right.
So don't let motherfuckers fool you out of your of reality of saying, oh, you're emotional. Oh, you guys are just so emotional. But we gone through 4 years of people not claiming Biden as a president, or just saying fuck Biden the whole time way.
Yeah, and we're a lot of people claiming the whole grocery prices, but since Trump's been in office, like the fucking cost of eggs has even doubled way.
It's gone up for sure way.
So it's like he's doing all these executive orders on other people on other shit, but the shit that people were complaining about, which was the groceries, have gone up.
But people are so understanding way. Like,
yeah, people are
now
so
they're understanding way. Like,
yeah,
the bird flu's going around. Like, what do you expect the president to do?
Yeah, and then, but the fact is that there's a lot of people not showing up to work. There's a lot of Latinos that are not showing up to their jobs, to the farms, to the factories, to all that because of the fear of getting, of the migra showing up, that is affecting the production. So obviously, when you got, what's it called? When you got the demand, but you don't got the product, the supply, you start raising up the prices on what's available. Yeah. So that's the situation we're in now. So it's like, who sees this and thinks that this is the right way to go about things? It's like, you're gonna, there was a farmer that said, if the immigrants stop working, like we have like 2 days before we run out of food.
Damn.
And then we're like on the first wave of like the raids that are going on. But it's like, if this continues, like less people are going to be showing up to work. More people are going to be going back, like self-deporting to their own countries. And we're going to be in a situation where there's going to be no fucking food at the store. Right? Like we've seen videos of shelves that are just empty. Yeah. Eggs going for like $10 now.
Yeah.
So
it's a wild way.
That's the situation we're in. And we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. And it's not like we want to sit here and call people out and just talk shit about people, but it's like, we gotta do our part, man. If people are fucking up, we gotta we gotta talk about it, man. At the end of the day, this is why we started this podcast, to talk about our culture, to talk about our community, to like we said, we gotta talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And right now we're dealing with the ugly, and that's what it is, And
and there's a few things that I want to just point out. People are so quick to say, why don't you guys come at Obama like this, because he deported the most people in history, right? That's the most common comment that I see. We were out there protesting when Obama was doing, these deportations way. We protested against Obama. We will protest against anybody that's going against our people. Right. We don't get, at the end of the day, we're not giving a fuck who's in the fucking White House way. If they're going to criminalize our people, if they're going to go pull us out of schools, pull us out of workplaces, pull us out of churches, all this bullshit that they're doing, we're going to talk about it. Like, don't talk about Obama. Don't talk about the 300,000 children that were missing, because you don't really give a fuck, to be honest. You guys just throw these things to offset or to justify your, what you voted for or what you believe in. Another one way that is very heavy that a lot of people just don't know is, you were here for 20 years and got deported. You had all that time to fix. Why didn't you fix it? Mm-hmm. It's not that easy to put an application, bro. You're not, like, how can we put that message out there? Because these people really don't give a fuck, right? Because I've seen these comments and I'm like, I'm going to let them know exactly how hard it is to become a legal person in the United States, right? And you're like, they don't give a fuck, way. Yeah, what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna comment this.
Where people are like, stop trying to tell grown people how to be humane.
Yeah,
it's like, and that's true at a point, right? It's like, damn, like we're over here trying to, we're thinking we can change people's mind by letting them know, hey, this is what really happens, and this is what we go through.
Yeah.
But these people don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck way, and that's why you got to stop putting so much energy into it. Like this is our podcast way. This is what we're doing. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with us and listens to us. We have Trump supporters that listen to us too, way. They hit us up and they give us their peace of mind. My bad that we don't agree with it, but shout out to you for still.
Don't apologize for that.
I did apologize, right? No, I'm just saying my bad that I don't agree with you, but I just don't. But shout out to you for still rocking with the podcast, because you're listening to, in my perspective, in my experience, you're listening to the real vatos that experienced coming here undocumented, illegally, living a full life of being undocumented through the fears of getting deported, through the fears of their parents getting deported, of not being able to chase their dreams and education, because we knew that we just couldn't chase higher education because of our legal status, and feeling that we were going to work in general labors for our whole life, minimum wages for our whole life. And then our life changed. So, shout out to us for fucking making that happen. But there's other people that didn't. And there's other people that are still in the process that we're not going to fucking overlook them.
But there's people that are doing a lot better than us.
There is. And shout out to them también.
That's the thing. Yeah. When people say, who's going to clean your houses? Who's going to pick your crops? Who's going to cut your grass? Who's going to, do your roofing and your siding? Yeah, you're talking about a group of people that are busting their ass to raise kids that are going to be doing completely different jobs. These are kids that are going to be doctors and lawyers and judges and scientists and all kinds of dope things. Like, when we say that, like I've seen people saying, like, don't minimize yourself to only those jobs. No, that's a fact. That's a fact that our people are the best at that, But don't think that our people work to stay stuck at that.
Right.
Those people are busting their ass every day to set their kids up for a successful future. And that's why we see these doctors, we see these graduates that graduate from Yale, graduate from, these big colleges, Harvard, and they go back to the fields and they take a picture with their parents at the fields, and they let their parents wear the gown and the hats or the caps. And it's like not forgetting where they came from and not forgetting the work and the struggle that their parents, did in order to give them a better life. That's what they're working for, and that's the goals. That's where we're headed. Like, we're not staying stuck in that. That's always a new, fresh. It's a new, fresh group coming in, but we're pushing out, higher educated generations after that, and those are the people that people are really scared of. Those are the people that people are really scared of losing their jobs to. When you start seeing brown folks in positions of power, that and all that good stuff, and that's where we're headed to, and that's where we need to focus our energy at. Continuing to work hard and set our kids for a better future, but not ever letting them forget where we come from, because again, that's how you end up with people forgetting where they come from, and they start voting against their own community, and that's not dope. That's not the way it should be. That's not the goals. The goals is not to make it to a certain point where you don't give a fuck about where your roots are and where you come from. Like, that's that's not success. That's not success.
That's some selfish shit, bro. That's some selfish. I see it as selfish scarcity mindset of, if people get in, they're gonna ruin it for us. If people get in, there's not going to be enough for us. If this happens, someone's going to take my job. If this happens, there's not going to be enough money. It's all that shit. Finishing it up. I think we're getting to the point where we're going to finish it up. Unless you got something else going on.
No.
It's just to the point of and when I said that, I lost my train of thought way. But we're at the point where we got to stand up for our gente way. You know what I mean? And one thing that I'm gonna say, and nobody really got to like take this shit like for some shit that they got to do or not. But watch where you put your money in, way. Like these next 4 years, bro. I love all my raza, way. I love all my content creators. I love all my, la música that I'm listening to, way. But if you ain't speaking on our people, way, and if you're not making at least a post or at least some kind of situation where you're helping out our people, way, I ain't putting no money in your pockets, way.
Yeah,
I ain't going.
that's facts.
I ain't going to no fucking concert of a motherfucker that bro. We've gone to some recent concerts when we put hundreds of dollars in people's bank accounts, way.
Right.
Hundreds of dollars, bro, just to get into a row to see our motherfucker, way. That's that dude.
Right.
For the raza. These next 4 years, bro. If people ain't stepping up, defending, protecting la raza, or talking about Latinos, stop putting money in people's pockets. I'm not saying cancel motherfuckers. I ain't with the cancel shit. I'm just saying watch where you put your money at. If motherfuckers ain't for your people, if motherfuckers ain't for the cause, ain't for the culture, for real, don't put no money in their pockets.
Yeah, because I see certain like and this could be different music genres, right? It could be from corridos tumbados to Chicano rap, Mexican rap. I could see people be like sign a new artist or dropping a new album, I'm like, you know what, bro? You haven't said nothing about what's going on, bro. Yeah. So I really don't care about what project you're about to drop or what artist you just signed with.
New interview just dropped. Like, wait, nobody gives a fuck about your interview right now, bro.
It's like you can do both. You can promote what you're doing, but also don't forget what's going on in our community. But before I forget, I just want to definitely send or give a what do you call that? Like acknowledgement, to
send your heart out to somebody.
Not send my heart out. No, we don't do that around here. But give my respects. Give a shout out to a fashion designer named Willie Chaveria, bro. He's a fashion designer, bro. That he does a lot of dope designs like that Chicano culture shit, right? I don't know if you've seen any of his work.
I seen man. It was dope, boy.
So he was at a fashion show in Paris, and he took Paris, Mexicans in Paris, and he took the culture with him, bro. He took la raza with him. He took our cultura with him, bro.
Pachucos.
You could see the representation of our culture all the way out in Paris, bro. So shout out to him for representing the culture. Shout out to Becky G for being part of that whole function. And there was other people involved as well, but I just want to shout out those two because I know those two are the ones that are really being outspoken about what's happening in our communities. At the end of the fashion show, the final walkout where all the models and the designer Willie and Becky G, when they did their final walkthrough or whatever, they played the speech that Bishop lady did, to Trump and the whole Trump administration about being kind to people that are not like him, being kind to people that are trans, being kind to people that are, immigrants and all that. That was deep. That was impact. That's an impact. Impactful message that he sent, bro. And I give him nothing but respect for using his platform in a whole different country where he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to use his platform and use his time to stand up for our people, to stand up for the culture, to stand up for, the injustice. So, bro, I see shit like that, and I take my hat off to motherfuckers like that, bro, because that's the type of motherfuckers that deserve the respect, that deserve the support from our culture, our community, and deserve success, way. So, shout out to that dude, Willie Chaveria. Shout out to Becky G for not forgetting where they come from, man, and letting it be known of what's happening and
the struggle's real, baby.
What they agree with and what they don't agree with, man. So shout out to them, man. Other than that, sir. I think we spoke our piece for this episode. I just want to remind people, if you want to support the podcast, make sure you guys go to puraculturapodcast.com. Check out the hoodies, check out the merch, and order yourself some. If you rock with the podcast, that's the best way to support us. Other than that, for the people that are local in the Twin Cities, if you're looking for a barber, if you're looking to get a fresh cut, make sure you hit up Mexican Mickey, aka Mickey Blends, on Booksy. You can download that app and book directly with him. He's at a barbershop called La Familia, and you'll see all that information on his Booksy account. So make sure you guys hit him up.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
fresh out here, mi gente. Other than that, appreciate the support, and all that good stuff, mi gente. We out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody rocking with this shit. And, for the people that came to listen, this is where we're at. This is what we got to talk about. This is where the energy's at. And, hope y'all fuck with it. And I really hope that you guys are doing your piece in whatever space that you have in your life. You know what I mean? To be able to support La Raza. Don't be selfish, man. Our gente needs us, and a lot of people need your voice because they can't speak for themselves, man. So with all that being said, man, you already know you're rocking with Pura Cultura sin Censura. And this is your boy Lazy, man, and I'm checking out, man. Peace.
Peace.